In any rapidly developing area of technology, it's important to differentiate the unethical application of a technology from the technology itself. Unfortunately, the AI Act, which is coming out of Europe and the EU, illustrates a failure to recognise this distinction. By banning models capable of emotional and facial recognition, for example, EU lawmakers may believe they've banned a tool of mass surveillance, but in fact, they risk banning the development of a technology that may have a myriad of otherwise very good applications, such as the development of therapies and educational tools which can adjust to the responses of users. The same holds for the ban on models which use patterns of behaviour to predict future actions. The caution around that is wise, but a rule which prevents AI performing a process already used by insurers, credit scorers, interest rate setters and health planners across the world for fear that it might be used to develop a product for sale to nasty dictators is limited. Perhaps the most egregious example of this conflation is the ban on models trained on published literature, a move which effectively risks lobotomizing large language model research such as ChatGPT, applications such as ChatGPT, in the name of reducing the risk of online piracy. We might compare this to banning all factories simply to make sure that none are used to manufacture illegal firearms. In short, and in words of one syllable, it's easy to ban stuff. But it's much harder, and the task we must apply ourselves to create a moral framework within which regulation can help technology such as AI flourish. It is understandable to want to control and protect, but an inappropriate regulatory approach risks smothering the AI industry as it draws its first breaths. In fact, there's a deep irony to this because, again, as experts will know better than myself, AI is exceptionally good at finding loopholes in rules-based systems. And the idea that then it might be the subject of a rules-based system and not be able to navigate its way around it or applied to use to find a way to navigate around it is deeply ironic. Sir Roger, I'm encouraged by the government's contrasting approach and its strategy, which it published last year. We have recognised that Britain is in a position to do much better, so much better. Rather than constraining development before applications become apparent, we seek to look to those applications themselves. And we can do this because, unlike the tradition of Roman law, which is inherently prescriptive, that underlines the thinking of many nations and indeed the EU, common law, as we have in this country, allows us to build an ethical framework for monitoring industries without resorting to blanket regulation, which kills the underlying innovation. In place of prescriptive dictates, regulators and judges, in combination with industry leaders, this means we can innovate, evolve and formalise best practice proportionate to evolving threats. And given that the many applications of AI will only be discoverable through the trial and error of hundreds of dispersed sectors of the economy, this is the only option to us that doesn't risk the culling of future prosperity and, without wishing to over-dramatise, creating an invisible graveyard of unsaved lives. It is a most un-British thing to say, Sir Roger, but I would say this British system is a better way. Indeed, it's being introduced in nations today around the world who are switching from a regulatory approach to one of common law. For two main reasons. One, it facilitates progress. Just as no legislator can presume to know all the positive applications of a new technology such as AI, they're also blind to its potential negative applications. AI could prove, in the UK, in this environment, a game changer for British bioengineering. The world-leading 100,000 genome project and British Biobank, combined with our upcoming departure from the GDPR, promise AI-equipped researchers an unparalleled opportunity to uncover the genetic underpinnings of poor health and pharmaceutical efficacy to the benefit of health services around the world. The second reason is it is more adaptable to threats. Decentralised systems of monitoring involving industry professionals with a clear understanding of the technology is the most effective form of risk management we realistically devise. An adaptable system has potential to insulate also from another risk of the AI era, which is technology in the hands of hostile powers and criminals. As in previous eras, I would argue that unilateral disarmament would not make us safer. Instead, it would leave us without the tools to counteract the superior predictive abilities of our foes, rendering us a contemporary Qing dynasty marvelling at the arrival of steam ships.